next step would be to, anybody have any items of concern that are not on the agenda that they would want to bring up at this point? Good, then I'll forego reading the instructions. We'll go to number 4, which is Administration and Principals Director Reports. And the first one is Director of Academics, Suzanne Chavira, with guest speakers Shane Stevens and Laura Martinez.
Okay, good evening, board members and Superintendent Corey. So today I am presenting out on one of our strategic goals. And I'm going to pass out the goal I'll be presenting from. Okay, so this is goal number 2, and the strategic goal states, by the end of 24-25 academic year, Cobre schools will increase student achievement and innovation by implementing a comprehensive framework that supports critical thinking, creativity, resulting in grade-level appropriate instruction. The strategic action plan for this goal is create partnerships. This is one of the strategic action plans. There's, I think, 3 or 4. There's 4 of them. So we're presenting on strategic action plan number 4. So it's create partnerships with local businesses, organizations, and higher education institutions to provide innovative learning experiences and real-world applications for students. So that brings me to talk about, first of all, our Steaming Ahead program. We're going to go ahead and put Maria Elena first. So our Steaming Ahead program, excuse me, is our after-school program at all the schools, except for at Cobre, but we'll talk about how we support Cobre. So we are partnering with Steaming Ahead and NMSU, which is one of the colleges in Las Cruces, and they help us to provide our after-school program. So with that being said, I would like to introduce our Steaming Ahead members, and it's Maria Elena Garcia. Go ahead and say hello. Hello. Yes, so they know. And then we have Felicia Beta. Hello. And then we have Laura Martinez. So Maria Elena will be presenting first.
Well, thank you to Suzanne for inviting us to be here. It's nice to meet the school board. And it's been delightful working with Cobre School District, very embracing of the programs we bring, on down from Mr. Corey, Ms. Chavira, the principals, all the staff. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. Oh, good, and here's our PowerPoint. I'm going to get started by saying we're very, very, very proud to be working with Cobre School District. This is our partnership, Steaming Ahead to Success. We'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Cobre School District is smack in the middle right there, the partner, and then it's Steaming Outreach Center at New Mexico State University. We're really delighted that we're working together to increase the work and to expand opportunities for your Cobre. So thank you for allowing us to be here. This is going to be a really quick presentation.
Ms. Garcia, just for a second, can we set up another mic close to her so that way? These are all.
Do you want me to just stand here?
It's up to you, but they're
Sorry,
all
I talk with
required.
my
It's
hands.
required that we record them,
Okay,
and so
okay.
the audio has to be there too.
Sorry, I talk with my hands, so I'm kind of standing back.
Okay.
Am I blocking this event? Okay, so this is our partnership. We wrote a grant in June of last year, in June 23, and it got, I mean, we worked so hard. We turned it around in like in 4 days, and we got funded for it. We didn't get the funding until October 1st of last year, and so we're going to give you an up-to-date on what has been happening with this grant, okay?
Okay.
Steaming Ahead for Success, I'm the CEO, Steaming Ahead. We're a nonprofit, 501c3, out of Silver City, New Mexico, okay? And I'm one of the founding partners. I'm a proud graduate of Cobre High School, so there you go. We're from the community. I've been a longtime educator and teacher and administrator and trainer of teachers and principals and so forth. But anyway, long story is we really wanted to do something for the community that we love. Another founding member, I'm going to introduce our two other people that will be presenting. Another founding member is Felicia. You want to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Felicia Beta. I also graduated from Cobre High School, and my kids, we're all from the community, and we're just happy to be working here with our kids from this, local area, because we want everybody to have the same opportunities as some of these big city kids that have everything right at their doorstep. We wanted to be able to bring some things down south to our kids also.
Thank you, Felicia. And Laura Martinez, she is an educational specialist at New Mexico State University with STEM Outreach Center. They're our partner. Laura, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, like Maria Elena said, my name is Laura Martinez. I'm with New Mexico State University. I've been with the STEM Outreach Center for almost 10 years, and we are super, super proud to partner with Maria Elena and Felicia Beta to provide some really awesome STEM-based curriculum to the students in Cobre and provide access to them, the same access that they get in the larger cities such as Las Cruces and the Gadsden School District, which is quite large.
Thank you, Laura. And I want to say that we have a whole group of people behind us, too, on Steaming Ahead, on nonprofit. We have a lot of Cobre graduates behind us. They've all graduated. They've gone on to amazing careers nationwide and so forth. And some of them are on our board. And so I want you to know this isn't just a solo project. We've been working with New Mexico State for about close to 5 years. And so we have become very familiar with the STEM Outreach Center and what is the expectations and what we do to increase student achievement. So with that, I want to say when we were awarded the grant from New Mexico PED, we are the lead organization, Steaming Ahead. And New Mexico State is a contractor to us. And then, of course, we're a partner to you, both of us are, okay? So just so you understand the relationships there. I want to say also that, can you forward that slide, please? It illustrates a wonderful partnership that we have because it's really in line with what you are doing in Cobre School District. The purpose of the grant is to provide more access and opportunities. We support, we expand, we provide, and we leverage the work, okay? And I want to point out to you some key words on leverage where it says gain access to resources for that have not been available previously. And that's exactly what Felicia said. We've graduated from here. We know how hard it is when you leave an isolated community and that you haven't had the opportunities that other school districts have had. And so that's why we designed Steaming Ahead for Success, because we want those opportunities for our kids, okay? And so I want to say that, there's no shame or blame that those opportunities aren't available. That's just the reality of working in a small, isolated area such as ours, okay? But the important piece here is the assets that we all bring together. I mean, think about the assets. The people are amazing here. The people have strong community connections that you have tapped into. And we'd like to help you and that we have tapped into as well. And so those strong community assets is what keeps us going, gives us the will, the ganas to keep going, to ensure that our kids are getting opportunities and access to STEAM education opportunities, okay? So what I want to do is I want to turn it over to Felicia, because we don't have a lot of time. She's going to talk to you a little bit about budgeting, and then I'll come back and wrap it up.
Slide over. This, what I wanted to do is just give you a brief snapshot of what we've done, not even in a full year. This has only just been from when we were awarded the HB out-of-school time grant in October, and up to almost current here in about August is where we've gone. And the student equipment and supplies, those have been directly purchased by Steaming Ahead through this grant. And those have been things such as Lego robotics for all the elementaries and for the middle school. And those are the actual kits so that the students can engage in coding and robotics. It also included curriculum kits that were purchased from us from NMSU for Generation Genius, Eco Builders, DEMA, which is a digital technology. So we have the curriculum for those, and we'll talk about that whenever I move down to the curriculum. And other supplies would be for the amazing production that was done, the Into the Woods production. What we did for that for the high school is we provided production, the set, materials, supplies, and whatever else they were needing to have that production become, whatever the level that it was at. In addition to that, once we had seen that, we thought, wow, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get them a professional grade camera as well that could help with these productions in addition to the digital media class. And so we also, were able to purchase professional grade cameras for that. And then the last thing, that's why we're going into this current budget year, is the STEAM camp, the transition camp for our sixth grade students moving into middle school, providing all of the drones, Lego robotics for those students, and as well as any student materials and supplies and goodie bags for them throughout that camp. So with those, that kind of is encapsulating most of our student equipment and supplies. There's several different things like laptops and things like that are in there as well, cameras. We've had teacher staffing. Last semester we did have the after school programs in full swing, so that was teacher staffing. This year we should have 2 semesters of it, so and the summer, so that should also increase. Professional development, including specific professional development to the courses so that they could also be trained on Lego robotics, not only the instructors but other teachers within the district that would like to just be trained as well. Also for Eco Builders, for Generation Genius, getting the training, the STEAM training that they need. And then curriculum and program development, so that when these teachers who have agreed to help to facilitate these programs in the after school, like they will come to class and they have a curriculum already for them. They don't have to develop a curriculum. A curriculum is given to them for 15 weeks of programming, in addition to a full kit with all the supplies and student materials that they would need to have all of those activities performed at the level and with the materials and equipment that they need. So that is the curriculum and program development, so that teachers at the end of the day don't have to now create a new curriculum for an after-school program. They can come in, be trained on it, and then now teach the students. So this is roughly about $157,000 that has been directly impacting North Cobre School District in our community. Yeah, go ahead.
This particular slide, it's so bright right here under this light. Can you see those slides? This represents some of the events that we've been doing, okay? And it represents some various ones. The top one, we did a summer camp with 6th graders, transitioning from 5th to 6th. We did a lot of social emotional learning with them, as well as Lego robotics and drones. And the teachers learned it right alongside when we were teaching students, okay? The top one is that one. This one in the bottom, we try and draw from community resources. So that one, and I can't think of his name, I'm so sorry. He is a Forest Service drone certified, the only one in the United States certified in forestry to fly drones. It's amazing. He brought giant drones to show the kids and talked about everything, all the math, the science, technology that goes into this. It's amazing, but it shows the career and technical awareness and college readiness that kids need. The top one shows one of our one of our teachers, this is Melissa, and she is in Bayard Elementary, and she just had a training with Laura, I think, a couple of days ago, and that's what they were doing, and you can talk towards that in just a minute, Laura. And then the bottom one is with our partnership with New Mexico State. They brought a planetarium for your family engagement over at Cobre High School, and they had it for all the students, and it was the family engagement, I believe, in December is what you did. And they also brought it for a health fair that Snell wanted it for, and that was in May. So, can you just slide forward? This is representative by quadrants on what we have done, the out-of-school time. This grant is strictly out-of-school time, but the standards that we use, the enrichment materials that we use, everything is focused on the standards that people are using during the school day. But it integrates in fun, learning, hands-on experiences. That's what they do. The top part shows that you had 225 students at after-school classes when we started it from February to May. 225 students that we wouldn't normally have gotten after-school enrichment. Those are the classes that we did. Laura's going to talk specifically. What we do is we buy bins of materials that they develop at STEM Outreach for you. Teachers get this, like Alicia said, they get this, curriculum's done, supplies, equipment, everything is in those bins. And those are the ones that you'll talk towards that. Then what we have is, we also had additional information that we contributed to. The play production, as Felicia said, the professional video camera that we got. Oh, Mr. Guardian, thank you for your expertise at the high school. You do chess club. We purchased some chess sets for you. Yes. And so that's what we did. And then finally what we have is, we also paid for a class at Hurley Elementary for Battle of the Books. Okay, professional development. We really believe in building the capacity of teachers. It's not a one and done. It's continuously giving them professional development to be able to do hands-on enrichment activities. And we've done it in all those areas right here, and we continue to do it. As part of this grant, Laura Martinez is here in Cobre School District, part of her time, and so you get her, the teachers get her for professional development, okay? And to help. So, and then the last one is events that we've sponsored, field trips that we've sponsored, and then the summer camp. You see the field trip that we've sponsored right here. We sponsored a field trip from 9 to 12 last year for high school kids to go to New Mexico State and see the experience of university life that day. It was on a Saturday. And there was 27 students that went on the bus. New Mexico State Planetarium, of course, is here. We talked about that. And this is really, really cool, the summer camp for 5th to 6th grade kids. We did a whole week with them. We were kind of exhausted at the end of the week, as you could tell, that grade level. But they really enjoyed it. And again, we did the social and emotional learning because we wanted them to feel comfortable coming to middle school, and we did Lego robotics, and we did and drones. And we had somebody from Freeport, Matt Moran, come and demonstrate their big drones that they use when they do the dynamite and explode at the mine. So we wanted it to provide relevancy as well too. And they see it in action, what they are learning. And that is, we had 29 students. They were kind of in and out, but it was pretty much 29 students. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura Martinez. And if you have any questions, we have our emails on there, or please contact Ms. Chavira or Mr. Corey if you need additional information. Okay? Thank you.
Got all my trinkets with me today. So there's not much I can say to you all that hasn't already been said by Felicia and Maria Elena, but I just want to express that New Mexico State University has a lot of gratitude to them for reaching out to us and asking us to come and support them in this endeavor. I am originally from a very small town in northern New Mexico. It's called Chama, and so I'm very familiar with the difficulties of gaining access to the modern educational technology that we get in some of the bigger schools. And even
outside of New Mexico, we know New Mexico as a state sometimes struggles to get access to those materials. So it's really important, and it's been such a wonderful blessing for me to be able to come out and appreciate your community and your children, your teachers. I just came actually from an after-school program. We wanted to show you guys the Lego bins, but the kids were still using them when I left. And so Bayard Elementary right now has like upwards of 80 kiddos that are interested in being part of after-school programs. So it's a huge, huge interest in your community. And it's a big process. It takes a lot, but we really appreciate being a part of it. And I'm very, very grateful to them for having us. And so I just wanted to show everybody today that these are the tiniest versions of some of the bins that we provide, but imagine that each teacher gains access to about 5 of these, and they get progressively larger as you collect them. So this is the 2 smallest bins I could bring. But all of the bins contain all of the curriculum, and all of the activities are pre-bagged for teachers to utilize with children, so that at the end of a very long teaching day, teachers can just have fun. They don't have to worry about finding videos online or creating their own curriculum. Everything is here. At New Mexico State University, for the STEM Center, we've been creating curriculum for over 20 years, so we're very familiar with it. We're very, very interested in making sure all of our curriculum is standards and benchmark based for nationally and for the state. And so it's wonderful that Maria Elena and Felicia had us out here so that we could bring the bins, and teachers can just open them, get with their 20 kiddos, and just start doing hands-on. And New Mexico State, the STEM Outreach Center, we're really passionate about making sure that the kids do hands-on first to gain the interest. I can tell you guys just from the first day today of programming, the kids had so much energy. I was shocked because it's a long day and they still were ready to go for another hour and a half. And so what's great is that Maria Elena and Felicia Beta invited us to come and provide these services, because at the end of the day, we are a university and we are looking to create that K-12 pipeline so that kiddos see that there's potential and interest, and they want to attend a university nearby or even come out to Las Cruces and be a part of our college community. So thank you all, and thank you to Steaming Ahead for having me today.
Okay, I want to thank these 3 amazing ladies. It took us a long time to get this partnership going, and they were very patient with us last year because we started very slowly. And again, last year, I think we serviced 200 kiddos. This year, I see us going above 200. So again, thank you, ladies, and you may leave at this time. We don't want you to have to stay for a 3-hour board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, since this goal talks about community, I wanted to bring in Shane Stevens. Now, Shane is our work-based learning coordinator through Innovation Zones. And we partner with Silver Schools. When I go over the title applications, I'm not sure if I'll have time for me to do that today. Since I'm running short, we might have to do that next board meeting. But through the Innovation Zones, I set aside a budget to help hire Shane Stevens so we can get kiddos doing their internships in our local businesses. And so I would like to bring up Shane Stevens.
Good evening, board, Superintendent Corey. It's exciting for me to be here. It's exciting for me to be doing the work that I'm doing with Innovation Zones. We have a lot of opportunities that we're developing for our students at the high school, and I'm going to talk to you this evening about some of those opportunities. I work at Cobre School for you all as well. I also work for Silver High School and for Cliff High School. Previously, I was working with their innovation zones and setting up internships. And this year, I'm working with you all as well to develop internships, work-based skills, real-world work skills for our students. And Those internships are custom to each student. So we start with the student. It's very student-centered. We talk about what their career goals are, where they want to go, how they see themselves. And as near as we possibly can, we tailor the internship to them. So we have internships that we're developing with all sorts of businesses throughout the county. Some of them have previously been on board with us with my relationship with Cobre Consolidated Schools, and then some of them are completely new to us. So we've allocated a budget this year of $150,000 for student salaries, and we estimate that that should give us about 30 students working 10 hours a week, and with a pay rate of $12 per hour. And some of those internships this year are going to remain in-house or internal internships. And those are the internships that we will do inside of the school. And those include things like welding and carpentry skills and media skills. And those are the students who will be doing things like recording sporting events and school events and sharing them to your websites and developing that. And then the other internships are external internships, and they're unique to each student. But it's been amazing, the reception that we received from businesses here in Bayard and the support that we're getting from the community to develop these internships. It's just phenomenal. So one of the first steps that I met, one of the first people that I met with was I just met with the city government here in Bayard, and I met with your city clerk, I met with your mayor, and we've talked about, okay, how can we partner with the city? And that's something that we're very proud to get set up. We are taking 2 students from Silver who are students who've needed a bit of support in the past, students who are on IEPs, and we're introducing them to maintenance work within the city of Bayard. And that's a really great opportunity for these 2 kids that could potentially lead into a longer career path for them. And then in terms of just more support from the school, Coach Antonio has volunteered to work as a job coach for those 2 students for the first month or so to help with that transition period. And so we have partners with the, with the city, but we have so many more partnerships that are coming on board. I have a student who is interviewing with Southwest Bone and Joint Institute this week for a potential internship in radiology. And that's an example of just that direct career alignment. So we could take students and we could put them into an internship in something not career related, or in this case, a student who has an interest in becoming a radiology professional and getting some hands-on experience in that. I interviewed another student who was telling me, hey, I'm thinking about wanting to work for a local store. All work experience is great work experience. Everybody has to start somewhere. But the conversation became, well, what are your long-term career objectives? What do you want to do? And she said, well, I want to be a realtor. That's what I've always wanted to do. And that's really what my goal is. And I said to her, let's do that. Let's do that instead. And so she will be interviewing with Better Homes and Garden Realty this week. We've had success with them in the past. Dan Cook from the Realty Group there mentored a student last year, and that student had a real estate license by the time he graduated from high school. And this was at the end of last year, and has already sold 2 houses, so he's off to a solid start. So it's just really great when we can have these direct career connections. So real work experience that's directly applied to something that the students want to do, to how they see themselves operating in their careers. Another opportunity, we have a student who's interested in veterinary work. And This afternoon, she interviewed with Arenas Valley Animal Clinic. And so, and she's going to be working with them to get those real hands-on, real-world veterinary skills. We have so many opportunities like this that are coming on for our students. I spoke with Santa Clara Police Chief Sandoval just earlier today, who has volunteered to be a mentor for a student in law enforcement. So we need to meet next week on what that internship will entail. And so we have some guidelines for each internship that are just across the board skills that everyone needs. And those include things like soft skills and communication skills and the importance of being on time and proper attitudes with coworkers and so forth. And then there are skills that are unique to one's particular career path. And so we get to develop both of those. So we have already placed the 2 students with the city of Bayard, and we are placing students over the next couple of weeks here. We hope to have everybody working by October the 1st, and we're well on our way to that. So we have about 22 students that have signed up for the program, and we have a few more that may be coming into the program, and we have a capacity for about 30. Our selection process has been unique to each student. So we started off soliciting interest. We focused first upon the seniors, and then we extended that to other grade levels, but we looked at the high school seniors first. We developed a rubric to determine what are we looking for in a prospective intern. And the interns that we have interviewed have just been phenomenal. I have really been impressed with Cobre's internship candidates. They came to us very respectful, eager to work with very clear career ideas, and so they're on top of it. They're looking towards their futures, and they're looking for opportunities on how to get there. And so that's where this internship program is very, it's exciting. It is exciting to be able to open doors or to help open doors for young people. And that's what we're doing. We've selected about 22 students, have a capacity for about 30 students. We hope to have them all working by October the 1st. Some of them will be working within the next week or so. A number of businesses, probably about 50 altogether throughout the county, businesses and organizations. Some of those include county government, different offices in county government that have volunteered to take on a mentorship role with the students. And so that's what we're doing. It's a very exciting time for us to be able to work with the students and develop these relationships with the businesses and with the communities to create something very positive, I think, for the students' futures. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shane. So again, on my strategic plan, I think my name is listed on about 6 of the goals. And how that happened, I'm not sure. But I don't think I should take any more time tonight. I think I should probably just wrap it up. I had everything ready for my other 5 strategic goals to present out. But I think I'll wait till the next time I present. I did want to present the title applications and the state and federal grants, but I can wait to present that later as well. Okay, so we're not here too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chavira. That would move us to item B, which is the Coordinator of Family Engagement, Teresa Villa.
Hello, board members and Superintendent Corey. I'm also reporting on some strategic goals that we have. I think it's the third one? Yeah, number 3. It's on your guys' table. That's the one. It's the first page. Yes, sir. Okay, so the first, for the strategic goal, it's Cobre Consolidated School District will enhance parent and community engagement by implementing a comprehensive plan that promotes open communication, collaboration, and active involvement. This will result in an increase of parental and community involvement by 5% over the prior year. The first action plan was to develop and implement a district-wide parent and community engagement operating procedures that foster meaningful and ongoing communication between schools, parents, and broader community. The first thing that we did was we partnered with we collaborated with different districts with their policies, and we implemented those and posted them on the Cobre page website. And then we also are partnering with different businesses to open up donations and different avenues to provide for families and community members. So the plan is we partnered with the Commons, we've partnered with Healthy Kids, places like that, businesses like that, to help with community involvement. And then, of course, we have the Cobre District Parent Center, a place where families, community members, and students are able to receive different resources such as food, clothing, household items, to wash clothes, hygiene products, and to take various educational and fun classes. And then the baseline data is minimal. Last May, we implemented and posted the new family engagement policies on the web page, so that barely happened, so we don't really have a baseline to go off of as far as data goes. And the baseline data is minimal as well for the Parent Center because that was opened at the end of March, and then we had to close it because we started construction on the other side of it, where we're opening up, we're gonna have a conference table there, and we're gonna have shelving, which thanks to our maintenance department, it's already up, and we're hoping to open it up probably next week sometime. So the next one for the strategic action plan is to establish strong partnerships with local organizations, agencies, and businesses to offer resources, mentorship programs, and parent workshops. The strategic initiative was to retain and increase partnership with local organizations. We need to get more community involvement, community partnerships, and relations with outside resources. We're hoping to have classes in the future of GED classes, cooking classes, painting classes, stuff like that for our families and for our community. And then we don't have any baseline data for that at the moment, just because the center wasn't open long enough for us to start classes there as of yet. But again, we're very hopeful that it'll be open by next week. And then the next strategic action plan is to increase the percentage of parent and community participation in school events, meetings, and volunteer work opportunities by 5% compared to the previous academic year. The initiative was to identify meaningful engagement opportunities for parent and community involvement. So all of this is included with our Summerfest, our trunk or treat. We have our turkey food drive and then the tree lighting. So all of that stuff, we included the baseline data for that, which it's right behind this page. So you guys will have the data from last year for the last academic year for it. And that's it.
Look forward to getting the data once you start having a track of the programs already running. But I appreciate taking the initiative and building it from scratch.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I have a question too. Just on Summerfest alone, do you have numbers as far as last year comparative to this year?
So last year we had, as far as Summerfest went, we had probably about, well, we had around 2,000 people that attended, and then this last year, we had about 3,000 people that attended. So it was a huge improvement. And then we completely ran out of our backpacks and school supplies probably about an hour before, as far as backpacks is concerned. Yeah, 700 backpacks. And then probably about 30 minutes before, we ran out of the school supplies, because we got generous donations from the probation office and like the city of Bayard. We got a bunch of donations for school supplies and backpacks, and we were still, other vendors and booths were handing out the backpacks also, and we still ran out. So it was extremely successful this year, and every year it seems like we're just growing more and more.
We have around, what, 700 to 800 students?
We're a little over 900.
But we got probably about 30% from silver. Yay. And so and then we got people from out of state also. People came from Texas, Colorado. We had people from Arizona come down. We had people from Calvary Christian. So, I mean, we had students from all over, and that's the goal. The goal is to get community involvement, and as long as we're providing for students and families, if it's throughout the state or outside of the state, it's a success, because we're helping students and we're building our future.
Any of those Silver City kids that got backpacks, did they come back to Cobre? Because I know there's some kids in this area that are going to Silver.
Mhm.
Have you gotten any of those kids back?
We trade students regularly.
Yeah. And I mean, and then too, just on top, just to add to it, last Summerfest, we did create a booth for clothing donations. And the clothing donations aren't horrible clothes or anything like that. They're very gently used. They look brand new. If not, they are new. And that entire booth was gone. I mean, it was a success. It was a success in every way that you look at it. And then Roadrunner was there, and they provided boxes on boxes of food, and that was amazing as well. People started showing up there probably like 7 o'clock, 7 in the morning, lining up to get food. I mean, it was amazing. We were able to help our entire community. So providing for our community and helping our students is just...
Do you remember the number? Was it like 60,000 pounds of food?
Yes. Mhm.
Was distributed that day?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they have their own numbers as well, like as far as the community members that showed up there, which, I mean, it was amazing, and it was awesome. The kids had fun. They had a blast. We had good feedback from them. I don't know if you guys saw the Summerfest video. If you didn't, get on YouTube and watch it. We had feedback from our students. We had feedback from our teachers. It was an amazing event. It was bigger. It was better this year. So, and that's the goal every year, just to get bigger and better and to provide more for our students and our families and our community.
And along Ms. Harden's comment, maybe there can be some kind of concerted strategy to engage the
Attract.
families with,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
and-
kind of the whole point of the event, is to attract people to look at our district.
Yeah, but still have a plan to try to bring them back in a greater sense though, and to document the progress on that and the barriers, so hopefully we can overcome.
Yeah, I think the more that we're able to help them, then, I mean, obviously, I think that we're gonna get our students back that way as well. And then we just have a great community. I mean, we had our barbers that sat there, and they sit there all day, and they cut hair, and they cut hundreds of kids' hair. And these kids get to
But
go
they
to
don't
school
do
and
implants.
I know, sorry. We're gonna try to get that worked in there, but not yet.
And I have a quick question. For
Okay.
the sign-in sheets, were they paper or were they electronic too?
They
Was
were
there-
both. Yes, but I will say that in our community, people are not adjusting well to technologies, so we did not have a good outcome as far as our QR code. We did, but we had more on the sign-in sheets than we did through the QR code, and people were very hesitant with the QR code. So, but we did do that just in case, because we understand that, this is, our world is evolving, so. we're getting there, and we just, when the community gets there, it'll be good too, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So that was item B. Now item C is coordinated operations, Jerry Pacencio and Assistant Jasmine Black.
Thank you.
Well, so we just have some recent department changes. Gary has taken over Lisa's position as the new coordinator of operations. Since he's rising in the ranks, we're going to replace him in the maintenance staff, and then we will also be hopefully hiring an electrician here pretty soon. Most recently, we've had the PSFA out. They have done an assessment on Central and Hurley Elementary so far, and he and I were both with him for the Central one, and then just me for Hurley. And they found really minimal deficiencies there. The things that we did find were like ceiling tiles that need to be replaced, lights that were out, those kind of things, like just really minimal. So we made work orders for those and got all of those things addressed. The main thing that Gerald was really complimentary of, though, is how clean our schools are and how good of a job our janitorial staff is doing in terms of keeping the schools clean and the way that they store things, and they're really organized and all that. He just kept complimenting us over and over about that. So he'll be back out in the next month or so to do another school site, but we don't know which site it will be yet. Right now, the state fire marshal is in town doing inspections on all of the facilities except for Snell and the administration building, which were already done previously. So he will be here from today through the 13th. And we already got the reports from Snell and the admin building. There were 44 deficiencies last year during his inspection. 38 have already been addressed and corrected, and he's put that on his report. The remaining 7 have been corrected since his inspection this year already. At the admin building, there were 38 deficiencies found last year, and 28 of those were corrected before his inspection this year, and the remaining 10 have been corrected since he was here just last month.
So he's here right now,
Mhm.
and we did the high school,
Yes.
and while he was doing the inspection, so some of the little stuff that came up, I got on the phone and called the guys. I was texting and calling and fixing stuff as he was doing his audit. And at the end of the day, I had the guys send me pictures, and I'm like, hey, we already got all these. So he says, all right, let's go back. And he went through probably the first 5 items, and he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I didn't know if I was doing things right by jumping on it, so fast. Like, even here at the administration, how we had 38, we've already fixed, 28 of them. One was the big concrete steps here in the back. We poured concrete the other day and put a handrail and everything. He was really happy with the guys. They're on board. I really didn't get no pushback from them. I had them stop what they were doing today and just jump on what we were focused on today. He's going to be here all week, so we're going to hit every school. So that's probably what we'll be doing and some of the bigger stuff, of course, we'll have to wait for his report because I'll have to get material and stuff, and then we'll jump on that stuff. But whatever we can fix, we're going to jump on it as soon as possible and then send it back out to him that we've already completed everything.
This is completely different than what we've had before. At the time of the changeover of administration, there were over 100 deficiencies that had been repeat deficiencies for several years, and nothing had been done. And so, have you updated like the maintenance manuals,
So,
the PM manuals?
no, I'm very horrible at paperwork.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I got my assistant. She's my right-hand man. She is on it. So what I was doing when I was a regular worker, I shared this with several people. I would get a work order, and when I went in, I would just fix things as I saw it needed. I wasn't doing the paperwork. I was just working. Now I'm training the guys to be more efficient. They're really on board. They're learning a lot. For example, we have the 2 lights out here. The photo cells were bad, so the lights were on. I don't know how long. I've had one of my helpers, it's labeled as a helper. He's the one who fixed them. Where I'm training him how to read a 1-line diagram, and he's the one who fixed them. They're the ones who did the concrete, I'm showing them. And everybody's just jumping on board. For example, what was happening in the past was they were changing out the whole light fixture. So what we consider these light fixtures is a 2x4, because it's 2 foot by 4 foot. Well, a whole light fixture is $500, $400 to $500. Depending if you go T8, if you go LED, they're $500. A ballast one costs $30. And they were throwing the whole light fixture away before. And so we weren't able to rob parts or anything. We're just buying everything over and over. So if you have 2 classrooms, K through, what is it, 6th grade now? 5th grade?
5th grade.
So you're looking like at, 15 lights per school. At $400, $500, you're looking at $6,000 a school versus the $30 of ballast, you're looking at $400, $500 per the whole school. So we're saving money there. I'm teaching them how to change the ballast by doing a 1-line diagram. Some of the schools showing them how to use a meter, and some of the schools they didn't even know were 277, so getting them the right stuff to be able to turn off power to do it. And at Bayard Elementary, I think, I know 2 weeks ago we changed out 13 lights that were out. I don't know how long they've been out. Over at Central, people have confirmed this. I didn't believe it at first. I changed out a bunch of lights by replacing the ballast. They said those lights had been out for 8 years, and I got 22 of them going out of this. So, we're working. If I don't know, it's because if something's not being done, it's because I don't know about it. But the guys are really starting to learn. They're jumping on board. Of course, I have a little bit of pushback. When I was a regular worker with them, I wasn't the greatest. I didn't want to teach anybody. But now in this role, I have to show these guys. So, everybody's jumping on board. And I think some of the stuff that was happening in the past was they would just run to the store and buy whatever they needed for the day. They weren't looking at the shop to see if what we needed. So now, I'm the only one that goes to the hardware store now. There has to be a work order for me to purchase something. Of course, if there's something that was like, we just have to, I'll go and get it. If there's something we have to put a PO for, that's where Jasmine comes in, and she researches a little bit. For example, one of over at the high school, the freezers went out. We had 5-Star come in, and they looked over it. They worked 6 hours one day, came back another 2. They charged us already, what, $3,000?
Yeah.
A brand new unit cost $4,000. They didn't even know what was wrong with it, so that's when I went with Frank, and I'm like, what do we want to do here? Because by them coming out, we were already purchased a new unit. Where everybody's saying that unit's only 2 years old. I don't know about any of that. All I do know is what the technician was telling me, that he didn't know what was wrong with it. So we could be dropping money on technicians versus let's just purchase a new unit. So like stuff like that. Sometimes it is what it is. If we're gonna pay that much in labor, let's just get a new unit or and, trying to save it, and then just,
Parts of the old unit.
yeah, so we're gonna try, once that unit comes off, we're gonna take it back to the shop and try to get it going, and we're gonna have it as backup. It's not like we're just gonna get rid of it. I know that's the kind of stuff they were doing in the past, but now I'm trying to save everything. The lights we're taking down, I'm not throwing them away, we're saving them. I wanna get a new connex, or clean out one of the connexes we already have to store some of the lights in there so that we can just start fixing them instead of purchasing. Go and see what's at the shop for that's compatible versus going and just buying everything. So I was going to the store hardware store every day before I started. Now I'm averaging once a week. So
Good.
The guys are making fun of me because I'm penny pinching everything, but we're just trying to use the money better for the kids and stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but we're doing what we have. They've also just approved for me to hire an electrician. That's going to help us huge. Of course, I was doing all the electrical, and I was doing all the carpentry. So we did the parent center in-house. That saves us money. You know what I mean? Now we're in the process of getting the electrical. I have to run a new circuit for the 240. For the to run the dryer. We already have the water hooked up, everything for the washer and dryer. Now we got to build the shelves. I built some of the shelves out of the old bleacher boards seats. We sanded them, we planed them down and sanded them, look a little bit rustic. They like them, so that's what we're going with.
Got Suzanne's approval, so
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Teresa and them are giving us pictures, and that's what I'm going off of. I've had tons of experience, and now trying to teach these guys to up their game and everything, and hopefully I can get these guys to where they need to be, and then we can move into better areas to open up. We can have some of the students come work with us. But I got to get these guys to know what they're doing. And I'm also showing them code. It's not because I have a code book. I need to get with them so we can get a building code also. I know building code about when I used to do it, but they change so often. So teaching these guys the code and everything. But once I can get these guys, I thought it was going to take longer, but I really feel we're moving forward fast. The guys are learning. So if we can get the guys to where they got to be, then we can bring some of the students in to help us and teach them.
Thank you. I hope we get to the point of apprenticeships. But I did want to make one comment, though. We are in the process of trying to get a new high school and possibly the middle school as well. And a lot of that includes reviews of how we document our maintenance and where we are in strategic planning with the buildings. So just be aware that that is going to be very critical going forward.
We've already talked about it.
Yeah. So everything that we're doing, I'm getting with Jasmine. Jasmine's putting a work order, and then we're working on it. If I do something without a work order, I'm getting back with Jasmine, and she's creating the work orders so that we have documentation on everything.
It's more about PM schedules, also
So
the strategic planning of the buildings, the
So
prioritizing.
there was no
That's-
plan for a lot of the PMs, for like the lighting PMs and stuff like that. So at the mine, we used to do it on a monthly basis. So I guess they had one that they were doing yearly. And actually, that's one of the things that I talked to you about the fire marshal is that, so I started this back when Lisa was in charge. I took one of the guys, and I want to go and very document where every light is, emergency light and everything that way they just don't pencil with it. They have to go and physically try it to make sure and if it's out, then it'll be documented. It'd be easy to find because there's just so many fire exits and emergency exits and all that stuff. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but that's one of the biggest things that we're going to have to do. It's not that I want to do it, it's something that we have to do. And then once we can get it all paperwork and put it in a PM, on a monthly PM, it's going to be easy. And then that way we can stay on top of it. I would say in a year from now when he comes back, we shouldn't have any I call them citation tickets, what we used to get at the mine was citations.
Yeah.
You know, but, they're fix-it tickets, what we call them. But he should come in and everything should be working instead of us having to put work orders. We should already be on top of it, if everything goes the way it's going so far.
Any other questions? Last one. Security concerns. Are there security concerns that can be addressed quickly?
So I do have some of that in my strategic goals. So like our first one, which is to conduct an annual safety and security audit to evaluate the effectiveness of security measures. I am currently compiling a checklist for all facilities to use, regardless of whether it's Sanlo or Cobre, to evaluate their safety and security, whether we need to implement things or improve things, or if certain things are like, yep, we got that, we're good. And so I'm in the process of doing that right now. I'm hoping that my first draft will be ready by November, and then we can implement it across all schools by January. And then it should be, we'll review it, we'll go through it, we'll refine it, and then by June for the next school year, it'll be ready to go finalized. The other one is going to be, last year, Cobre had the COPS grant that they used for a lot of the security with keyless entry cameras. They've also put in for another proposal for another $500,000 for that same grant to expand that even further for security, to get more keyless entry, more cameras, get the administration building on the same par as like what Bayard and Central are on right now. So that is currently in and pending review. We should have an answer by the end of the year whether we get that grant or not. We are also working, right now we got a new fire chief, if you've heard about that. And so we've met with him. He sat down with the three of us, the superintendent, me and Gary. He's doing walkthroughs now actively of all the schools. He's there for the fire drills, and he's evaluating any safety concerns he has. He's done walkthroughs of Bayard and Cobre High and to identify any potential problems that he sees there, security or fire hazard wise, and then he's coming back to us and letting us know what he sees, so that we can kind of address those and we can all get on the same page for the safety of the kids and everything.
And he's gonna do a walkthrough with us tomorrow with the state fire chief also.
Cool.
So he's on board.
And then we have our training plans for all the facilities. Those are currently up to date. They'll be revised next year, but every principal has the current training plans for their safety site facilities plans. We had safety training by POMS for active shooters that was provided to the administration and the principals earlier this year. We had playground safety to the maintenance staff done earlier this month or last month. And so those are the main safety things that we're focusing on right now, and then just working towards on improving all of those things.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting. Pleasure meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, I think, are we gonna do the high school one?
Well,
Okay, we're on to item 4D, and that's the principal of Cobre High, Corey.
All right, so I did red and green because it's Christmas time in September. And I think you guys are gonna like what you see here.
thank you.
Okay, so you're gonna have to turn it to the side, and we're gonna go over some data. I'm excited for this, members of the board, Superintendent Mr. Corey. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Bueno? All right. So, 9th grade, this is our ELA numbers, and this is from BOI to BOI this year. So BOI, you'll see here on the bottom, for 9th grade, they're at 22%. Our BOI for this year has jumped 28% of kids who are proficient or above. That's pretty exciting, right? Sorry, not 8th grade. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. They're at 50%. At 7th grade, they're at 22%. We're still waiting on the Snell numbers for 8th grade. So this is our current freshman. I apologize on that. All right, so go to the next one. 10th grade. This is where I'm correct. All right, so as 9th graders last year, they were at 19% proficient or above, and they jumped to 55%. That's quite a big jump if you think about it. I know that our goal was, I think, 15% this year. If you look at that, that's, 36% jump from BOI to BOI.
This is 10th grade?
This is current 10th graders. Last year's 9th graders, they're at 19%. You see right there. And then they're at 55% this year. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, go on to the next one, 11th grade. This one I'm really excited about. So these are our current 11th graders, all right? They're at 30% last year. Does anybody want to read what percentage we're at right now? What was that? 74. I didn't hear you. Okay, that was great. I did star something here. If you guys look at kids who are in the red, what's that number say right now for BOI? How many kids do we have?
0.
What was that?
0.
0. Okay, great. Awesome. That is huge, guys. That is crazy when you look at it. I've been in education quite some time, and I am so excited for these numbers. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this is your baseline. Guess what? I love this baseline because it tells our students what they're capable of, where they are currently, and where we need to go at the end of the year. Okay? So let's go to 12th grade. Okay, so that's our current 12th graders. Last year, they're at 27%. And then what does that number say? I'm going to involve you guys if you haven't known.
68.
68%. Now, I really want you to look at the red. With 11 students in red, and we moved 8 students out of the red. That's huge, right? I wish the elementary principals were here because their numbers weren't looking like this. And I want this on record. Is that right? This is on record, right? This is being recorded?
We're going to send the YouTube video
Amen.
to
Let's
them
do
so
it.
they can see
I'll send it from my email if you want. I'm fine with that. So 27% last year, and we jumped 68%, right? That is crazy if you think about it. And so I do want to highlight one person who always comes to our school board meetings. She is here. She's back to my right, Miss Garrett. She is a fantastic teacher. And I tell you, when you walk through her classroom, she's never behind her desk. There's no cell phones out, and there's kids engaged. So this is kind of unorthodox, but I would love to give her a round of applause, Miss Garrett. Thank you for what you do. That's insane for those English numbers. And just FYI, Miss Garrett, if you ever leave me, I will slash those tires. Okay. So let's move on to math. Math is even. It is. I'm on record. Probably shouldn't have said that. My name is Mr. Brooks. So let's go to math. So our current 9th graders right now are at 41%. I didn't put it on here. I apologize. But I do have their numbers from 8th grade, and they were at 18% last year. So they went from 18 to 41%, which is pretty exciting. If you go to 10th grade, these are our current sophomores in math. Last year, as freshmen, they're at 23%. We did a 15% jump to 38%, which is pretty amazing, too. I mean, our numbers are off the chart throughout the whole school. And look at the red. We had 32 students in red. We moved 20 kids out of red. That's amazing. And once again, I wish the elementary principals were here. So let's go to our 11th grade. Last year, our current juniors, when they were sophomores last year, they're at 34%. This year, our baseline is 53%. And I highlighted we had 13 kids last year in red, and we're only at 4 this year, which is pretty exciting as well. So that's pretty cool. So if you look at even the yellow, together, that is 24 students, and we only had 10 students in red or yellow this year. So it's really showing what our students are capable of. And then 12th grade. This is really exciting as well. Last year, our current 12th graders, when they were juniors, their baseline was 46%. Now they're at, Ms. Harden, what is that percentage? 68%. Perfect. Now look at the red and the yellow. We had 20 students in red or yellow. And Ms. Heredia, how many students do we have in red and yellow this year?
52.
No. Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
Is that on record? I mean, I think that it is on record.
He wasn't ready for the.
I wasn't. That was
5.
awesome. 5 kids. So we had 20. Yeah, I mean, where's the elementary schools? And that's what I'm saying. But so we had 20 kids in red or yellow. We only had 5 in yellow or red. Okay? So you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is going on in Cobre? Well, they got a new principal. No, I'm just kidding. I had nothing to do with this. Go to the next page. So it was really cold when we did our BOI testing. And there's some key factors, I think, that really helped our scores. As I was talking to students, I probably talked to 50, 60 kids in the hallways. I was just like, what's the difference between last year and this year? And these are the answers they gave me. We changed the testing location. Last year, they tested in the classroom. This year, I didn't want them in the classroom. I wanted them in the library. So it showed a little bit more importance on that. And one kid even told me, I'm not going to say his name because it's on record, but he was like, I wasn't like testing it on my couch. You guys took us to the library, and I felt it was more serious this time. So I think just that part right there was a huge factor because students were like, oh, I'm just kind of relaxing my math or English class. They're going to take me to the library. They're going to take me to a computer lab, and I better take this serious. So I think that was a big key factor. Another one was students, they owned the data. We shared the data with the students. Hey, this was your score last year. I want to see what you do this year. So students knew exactly what their score was last year, and you could talk to Mr. Brooks, and we're walking the hallways. Students were coming up, Mr. Gropp, I want to up 100 points. I'm not in the yellow, I'm in the green. And so right there was, it kind of goes along with number 5 too, there was competition among students. One kid came out, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the green. One kid was like, well, I'm not in the red anymore, I'm in the yellow. And he was like, well, get in the green, kid, let's go. They were sitting there competing with each other, and it was really cool to see. It was awesome to see. And then number 3, number 4 was also huge as well. They reviewed concepts a week before testing, and then we also had some teacher movement. Some of the teachers didn't really want to leave some subjects and go to math or ELA, but the 2 new teachers that we have in math and ELA have made a huge difference. I had one student said, Mrs. Ryan, is Frank in here? You can take this home and get you some free meals or whatever. She cook you dinner or whatever. I had probably about 15 students said, Mr. Ryan knows what she's doing. And then when you walk into Coach Acosta's class, he was working this problem on the board, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know math. That's why I had to print this stuff out. And he was looking at the board, and kids were engaged, and he goes, guys, I did this wrong. And so he goes, let me go through it. And he went through his own mistakes with his students, and the students went through the same mistake as he did. And so I think with having Mrs. Ryan, Coach Acosta, Miss Garrett, who's our rock star, and Mr. Burnett, has really made a difference in those programs. And I'm so excited for this baseline. I was kind of hoping the baseline would be like 1 or 2%, and I'm like, man, we're at 20%, look at that growth. But we kind of changed our mindset in our PLCs when we were talking about the growth. At first, we were shocked. And then at second, we were like, okay, we're at 74%, right? How do we get to 92%? We're not satisfied with these numbers. I'm happy for these numbers, but we're not satisfied. Just because we have 74% students that are proficient, why can't we move those other kids, that other, 26%, there you go, there's your math. 20%, what if we have 100%? Whatever it is. And you know, I heard you talk a little bit about how do we get those students from silver. I guarantee you silver doesn't have these numbers. I promise you silver doesn't have these numbers. And I don't want to get emotional, but our kids are awesome. I love our students. They're very capable, and these numbers show how smart they are. This year has been great. It's been a great school year. They've embraced Mr. Brooks and I with open arms. And I can tell you this, that we've only had one student write up on cell phones. And every time I go into a classroom, cell phones are not out. And so when you challenge not only our students, but when you challenge our adults will rise to the occasion. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for what our EOY is going to be, because this is our baseline. We know where our students are. We know they're capable of. let's knock it out of the park. So, any questions?
I just want to say this is incredible. We were, I'm sure you were familiar with the criteria of how much a school had to improve to stay on the 4-day schedule.
15%, yes, sir.
Yeah, and it seems like that would have been a done deal, which we thought was unachievable. This is incredible. How much instruction from the beginning of the year to the time they took the test did they receive?
Every day.
No, 5 weeks, 2 weeks?
What do you mean, like before they took the test?
Yes.
It was 4 weeks, is that correct, Ms. Garrett? It might be 3 weeks and a half?
I'm even worse at math than you are.
Okay.
Probably about 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks, yes, sir.
Okay.
And
So-
like I really, when you look at the key factors, that's really not in my opinion, is when you're talking to the students. Go talk to the students, they'll tell you exactly what I just told you, is that they felt the test was more important. They knew where they were before, and they wanted to beat their classmate.
And it was a common comment before that the students are just not into taking the test.
Right.
That's incredible.
And then I think,
This is
I
absolutely
didn't,
incredible.
I didn't put this down, but some of the teachers that we talked to, we gave them the option if they wanted to test monthly or if they wanted to do it, the 3 times throughout the year, beginning Y, MOY, EOY. And they said, you know what, if we put a kid, I want to do monthly, but if a kid goes into the green, they have the option, that kid has the option just to do 3 times a year. Now, if we go to the middle of the year and they go back to the red, then they're going to go monthly. So we kind of put some pressure on the students as well and gave them ownership of, hey, this is where you're at. If you want to stop testing monthly, because it kind of get annoying, let's be honest, and there's test fatigue and all that good stuff. If you want to stop testing monthly, show some growth, learn from your teachers, take it serious, and get in the green. And a lot of our teachers are doing that as well.
And I've looked on the Department of Education site, and we're not listed on the rankings for some reason.
For which rankings?
The ones of high schools, actually, I think it's the district ratings. We're not listed on there. At least this was true about a month ago. That's
Well, they
when
don't
that
have these
was.
scores yet, so,
Um,
so booyah, Silver. And we're going to beat them in football Friday too, FYI, so.
So,
You can put that down. I think you're the newspaper, right? You can go ahead and put that down. Mr. Brooks said that we're going to beat them Friday.
so,
Sorry. I
Very
know I'm crazy and whatnot, but like this right here, if
This
it
is
doesn't get you excited,
It is
then
absolutely
we all just
exciting.
need to leave the room if it doesn't get you excited, because I love our baseline. At first I was nervous. I was like, wow, we got to show growth from 74%. But it just shows us our kids are capable, right? Like our
Yeah.
kids are smart.
and I appreciate that you're not looking at the state average, and you're looking well beyond that.
Right.
That's really something I'm very excited about, that we can go there. I think he's done so well that we should bring him in with the elementary schools next year, the next meeting, so he can.
I do want on record that ever since the elementary principals have presented, I've been here for support.
There you go.
Maybe they saw our scores and didn't want to show up. I don't know. But no, I'm really, this is a testament to them as well, is that they prepared our kids to get to high school.
Yeah.
And it's not just
Yeah, that's
our
true.
teachers, it's a team effort throughout the district. And we were just able to capture the kids and say, this is important. This is very important. I wish you guys were there after they were testing, because kids were excited. It was a different feel I've ever felt in the high school before in hallways. Kids were like, where were you at? Where were you at? I'm talking about the majority of the school. And then one kid was like, Mr. Gropp, I'm in the yellow. I was like, okay, well, what? That's nothing wrong. I was like, where were you last year? Well, I was in the red. And I was like, well, heck yeah, let's celebrate that. Because you went from the red to the yellow, now we got to get you the green. Like, that's not a bad thing. You showed growth, but let's continue to grow. And so they were really competing with each other. And I'm more than happy with our numbers.
And the times that I've gone there, your enthusiasm is very obvious.
It's a little crazy, I know, I'm sorry.
Pretty cool.
It's that darn Texan. If I get in trouble, I'll just say I'm Mr. Brooks. That's my go-to. But no, I'm really excited, and this just shows that this wasn't done in a month. But what was done in a month was making sure our students knew what their data was, that they take the test seriously, and it's going to be a crazy ride. I'm excited for it.
I'm
Congratulations.
sensing a big
Thank you.
competition coming for MOI from elementary and secondary.
I mean, I've already killed him in this one. I mean, my job's done. I mean, I'll see you guys in August, right? I'm just kidding.
Wait.
no.
It still becomes a challenge because this will be how much you've progressed from here.
Correct,
So-
correct, yes.
Yep.
I mean, MOI, that will show us, you know, if what we're doing from our baseline, if we need
Yep.
to revisit, then we'll revisit. But I'm excited from not just MOI, but our EOY because, and another thing we're going to change is our EOY is not going to be in May. We're going to do it in April. And I think that's important because kids get tired,
Oh, yeah.
right? They get really tired, and we really want to, even our kids were saying, well, we just tested so much last year. And I was like, hey, I'm going to listen to you, and we're going to implement some things. And I think they're still on that learning train in April. And so that's where our EOY is going to be because, I mean, shoot, Mr. Brooks told me he checks out May 1st. And so I was like, if he's checking out, when are our kids checking out? If you haven't noticed, I blame him a lot on a lot of things. But I'm just excited. When I showed Mr. Corey this and Mr. Vera, we were blown away because this shows what our students are capable of.
As much as I'd like to keep this, I'd like to offer it to the newspaper.
I got another one. I'll give her one.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, you can quote anything. Again, my name is John Brooks. And any other questions I can answer for you?
Thank you very
Hey, I
much.
just want to say thank you to the administration, because it takes that, but the amazing teachers
Yes.
have to be there, and the amazing
Yes.
kids are the ones that have to perform it. So
Correct.
it takes everyone being part of the team. I'm just elated of the improvement in the high school, and I'm super excited for you guys. I think the sky's the limit.
Correct.
I want to also echo what you said about Mrs. Ryan. She was my teacher. I can't speak to Coach Acosta because I didn't have him, but she is amazing at what she does. I mean, she prepared me for college, definitely. I mean, the way she teaches, she builds amazing relationships with her students. It's been like for about 5 years now, maybe more, that every single valedictorian has thanked her in their speech, besides this year. But for like the past 5 years, they've always thanked her that she'd done something for them. She's an amazing teacher and never the sit at your desk teacher. She's
Never.
always standing up or sitting with the student. And I just wanted to echo your comment because she is an amazing teacher.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these teachers, I mean, they're different teaching styles, right? They're not the same. But when you walk into Mrs. Ryan's, Mrs. Garrett, whoever, you can see that kids are engaged, and cell phones do make a big difference, right? They do make a big difference.
Congratulations.
So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us on to action items now. So the first item under section 5 is the approval of minutes of regular board meeting of August 26, 2024. Entertain a motion to, sorry, did you have something you wanted to do?
Well, I just wanted to give a quick comment. I wanted to thank all our presenters.
Yes.
And then also, we're about to start in the fun part of our meeting. Always feel free to run home, have dinner with the family. So don't feel bad if you bail out on us.
But we're gonna approve the
But thank you so
minutes.
much.
The
This
fun
is
part has just
sorry,
begun.
highly exciting stuff coming up next, so stay tuned.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to
I
approve the
move that
minutes.
we approve the regular board meeting minutes of August 26, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, David. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. The second item is the approval of the bills. David, can you make any comment on this? Is there anybody else that's on the finance committee? Oh, yeah. you're on the finance. Oh, okay. David, were you involved in the review of the bills?
Yes, I was. Everything was in line, and there was a lot of questions, and Mr. Ryan was able to answer everything for us, so I'm making a motion that we approve the bills.
Okay, I'll ask for the motion to approve the bills.
Make a motion that we approve the bills as presented.
Thank you. And second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the bills signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, now we'll go through the budget increases. The approval of the budget increase in line item 11,000, operational. Mr. Ryan?
Okay. You have in front of you a budget increase for our operational fund. In June, about June 10th, PED announced that they were going to increase the unit value. And they did increase it from, I don't have the numbers here in front of me, but they did give it an increase, and our increase amounts to $269,000. And so the budget adjustment request you have in front of you is proposing to spend it in a number of areas. One thing that I had to do was kind of spread it out throughout the budget. When I built the budget last year, there was some line items that were kind of lacking. We didn't have enough money at the time, and we just kind of thought, well, let's just start the year and see how it goes for us, and we'll move money around and so on. But luckily, the state came through for us in this adjustment, and there will be a final adjustment in January. So hopefully, they'll give us a little bit more money at that time. So some of the areas we're looking at spending it, tuition for concurrent enrollment. Last year we spent that out of a grant. We're going to put it back in operational this year. Rental of equipment, that's our copy machine lease that we started this year. Our supplies and materials, I'm going to increase that budget to $20,000. Our auditing, we have currently our special audit, plus we have our 23 and 24 audits that we need to budget accordingly for. Our legal, I went ahead and increased the legal, and it's just based upon past expenditures, prior year expenditures. Hopefully we're not going to spend that full amount, but at least it's there. Software, increasing that for our Power School. That's one thing that wasn't included in our budget, but we're putting it in now. Our maintenance and repair of buildings, kind of just looking at past expenditures, what we spent prior years, just to kind of bring it in line with those. Our water and sewage, again, on that one, that wasn't budgeted enough due to lack of funds. But now we're going to bring it up in line with our past expenditures. Same thing with communication, and same thing with maintenance, supplies, and materials. So all those adjustments come out to $269,753. Any questions?
David, do you have any comments at the Finance Committee or Ms. Harden?
No, everything was discussed very well in detail by Mr. Corey and Mr. Ryan. Thank you.
So many of these line items show the adjusted amount, and then that equals to the adjusted budget. That means it was zero in those line items before?
No, the present budget shows, the present budget column will show what's currently budgeted. There is there's actually two that are blank, so those two lines, there wasn't a budget in, and we are establishing budget into those lines.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget adjustment request, and this is the document number, is that, or is there the number for the actual bar?
It's just operational budget adjustment request. That's good enough. But the document ID at the top, that is what goes to PED.
Okay, so that's 024-30-24-25, 25-0003IB. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I move
approve the budget increase for 11,000 operational.
That's a different line. I don't, how many budget, bars did you, I only see 2 bars.
No, there's more. They're all in your packet.
Okay, so I read the wrong number.
We're doing 4 altogether. That was just the first one.
Okay, so let me go back to that. Okay, approve the budget operational bar that's been,
Do you want the number?
yes.
The doc ID number for
Sure.
this one is
Okay, no.
024-000-2425-0002-I.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the operational budget increase signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next
Okay.
one then.
Our next one is Fund Number 24106, Idea B Entitlement. And this is an initial budget for the year for this grant. When we built our budget back in May and June, PED didn't have these numbers ready for us. And they weren't ready until now into our current fiscal year. So this is establishing budget authority to be able to spend this money. We're looking at a total of $808,952 for this budget. And the areas that we're looking at spending this money it will cover the salary and benefits of our coordinator, our special ed coordinator, the salary and benefits of our special ed secretary, salary and benefits for our IEP facilitator, salary and benefits for 2 special ed teachers, salary and benefits for 4 instructional aides, salaries for substitutes to provide for professional development and IEP coverage. And there's also budget in here for contracted services with speech therapists and diagnostician contracted. And there's money in here also for professional development and supplies and materials and transportation for bus aid in our special ed buses. Any questions on the budget that's in front of you?
No.
You see no questions? Is there, David, no question?
No, sir.
Okay, so now we're asking for a motion to approve 24-10-6 Idea B entitlement budget approval request.
I move that we approve the initial budget 24-10-6 IDEA B entitlement with the doc ID number of 024-000-2425-0003-IB.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, now we go to approval of budget 24-10-9 Idea B preschool.
Okay, our next budget, this is along the same lines. This is from our special ed department. Again, they didn't have these numbers available to us when we built our budgets back in May and June, and they provided the numbers to us now that we're in our new year. So we have $22,277 to spend in the Idea B preschool area. And what we will be doing with that money is just paying for 1/2 of an instructional aide, salary and benefits of an instructional aide. And that's all that we can afford to do with this money. Any questions?
No.
Any questions, Dave? I'll
No, sir.
entertain a motion to approve the 24-10 Idea, 10-9 Idea dash B preschool. And this one I have the document number, which is 2024-000-2425-004, 1B, or IB. I'll entertain the motion to approve.
I move that we approve the budget 24109, Idea B preschool.
In a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion approved, passed unanimously. The last one. This is the budget request to, approval request for 27-18-3, New Mexico growth of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Okay, this last one is an allocation that we received from PED, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's in order for us to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables grown here in New Mexico from local vendors. And the allocation that we received this year is $8,871, which all of it will be spent in the area of food. If you have any questions?
No.
No. David? I'll entertain a motion to pass the budget approval request for the New Mexico grown fresh fruits and vegetables. Document number 024-000-2425-0005-IB, or 1B. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the budget 27183, the New Mexico grown fresh fruits and vegetables.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, so the vote, all those in favor of approving this signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And now we move on to number 6, old business. It's a discussion regarding updates on the high school and middle school replacement building.
So I know we discussed this last time, and I think there were questions about the bond, or?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why, Mr. Ryan?
And I had a discussion with him at the bank the other day.
Yes.
So if you can kind of
Yes.
go back over that. And the question, my concern was that we shifted, we increased the bonding rate for the education technology bonds. And I thought that because that money cannot be spent on capital expenditures, where are we going to fall short of the 10% that they're asking us to keep once the other bonds have expired, the 2017 bonds have expired, and now we have a bigger percentage of that coming from the electronic technology bonds.
Okay.
Bonds.
We're still paying on the 2017 and the 2019 bond issues. We'll be paying on those until our 2017 is set to expire in 2032, and our 2019 issue is set to expire in 2034. So we still have a number of years to pay on those. You know, we did issue these educational technology notes, and it kept our mill rate at 10 mills. And so we'll have to issue bonds in 2025. We'll have to go out to the voters 2025 in order and issue some general obligation bonds in order for us to maintain that rate, that 10 mil rate. So at that point in 2025, we'll be going out to the voters for approval, and one of the large item that we'll be looking at will be money for us for design services in order to build a new high school, combined high school, middle school. That's what that portion will be for, because we'll have to have that in place before when we approach the Public Schools Facilities Authority. We have to show money on our end. So
Okay.
that's where we're at with that.
Okay, and that was my concern that we, so 2025?
Yes, November of 2025 is the next election that we'll be able to put on the ballot without going to a special election, which, a special election, last time the district did it, it cost $25,000. If we put it on a regular ballot through the county clerk, it doesn't
General
cost us.
election.
It's free.
Yeah.
So
and
we're looking at November 2025 to go out to the voters for approval of bonds at that time for design services for a new school.
So, does that put us on hold until that time, or can we proceed?
It kind of puts us on hold because we were proceeding before and we got to the point where we were ready to go do our presentation and they asked, what money are you bringing to the table? And that's what put us on hold. And then previous discussion here with the board was doing special election or waiting, and we chose to wait. And so this puts us to November of '25.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from? Okay, then that concludes our old business. We have nothing under new business and Finance Committee report. David or Ms. Harden, which? David, do you have a report?
Nothing to report. I think everything that was discussed in the bar, etc., by Mr. Ryan, everything was discussed in pretty good detail with the bill report and the bar. So very pleased with his work and him and his staff.
Okay, and we did have an audit committee report, and we're scheduled to have another one on this Wednesday. We're talking about the special audits as well as the time frame for submitting the 2022 and 2023 annual audits data. And we'll have a report hopefully at some point soon that may become public. Will become public. And that discussion will be in closed session. So, for individual board reports. Ms. Hardy?
I just want to thank the gentleman and the lady that came. I wish more supporters of the community would come on board, just to see how we're progressing on our schools. And I want to thank them.
I'd like to echo that comment as well. I'd like to thank them for their time and their commitment to our small school district, to our children. It was great to hear all of their ideas, everything they've done, and to see what they want to do going forward. Thank you to Mr. Gropp. I'm sorry nobody came to cheer you on, but you're the one-man show, I guess. Those numbers were incredible, and it was great to see. And I think that that's a testament to what good teachers you have there at your school. I mean, some of them are just so great, and I think that they're going to be thrilled. And I'm really excited to see the MOI and to see the competition from the other, because as an elementary teacher, I think they're going to come for you, but I don't know. I'm just seeing some competition. I'd like to also congratulate the volleyball girls. They've been having a lot of success and working really hard this season. And I would like to wish the football team good luck against the Silver Colts. Mr. Gropp was also saying a lot of stuff. He doesn't know Gabby and I work for the Silver District, but I'd like to wish Coach Martinez and his staff and all the boys good luck. And I do hope they win. And I think that's it for me.
David, do you have anything?
No, again, this echoes to what Ms. Harder and Ms. Heredia are saying. And then just great job to the presenters this evening. Very positive stuff going forward for the school district. And then I was fortunate enough to go to Anthony, Texas last Friday and see the boys battle hard and come up with a big W and get prepared for silver this Friday. Thank you.
I echo everything that was said, and I'm particularly enthused with the motivation that Mr. Gopp brought to the floor. High school has been a challenge for quite some time. The improvements are extremely noteworthy, and I'm glad you commend the feeders to the school, which the elementary and the junior high school. That's a great reflection on the district and the parents. So there's a good effort going on, and I say thank you. Okay, then, the superintendent's report.
I do not have anything this evening. All of mine will be in a minute.
Okay. Then I'll make, one entertaining motion to go into executive session. So that the Cobre School Board of Education will meet in executive session for the following purposes. A, pursuant to section B-10-15-1H of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, section 12-6-5 of the New Mexico Audit Act, and section 2.2.2, 15A3 of the New Mexico Administrative Code for the board discussions for the special audit. And then B, the second item would be so that the superintendent can update and discuss limited personnel matters and permitted under section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, specifically the hiring, promotion, demotion, dismissal, assignment, or resignation of, or the investigation of employees of the superintendent. I would have a motion, please, for
I
going into
move that
closed
we
session.
go into executive session.
A second?
Second.
I'll take a roll call vote. Ms. Heredia?
Yes.
Ms. Harden?
Yes.
Mr. Terrazas?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion is passed. We are now in closed session at 7:49.
6:49.
Okay. sorry, I don't have the language that we're supposed to say, but basically, we met in closed session, we contained our comments, no, that's the same one. We contained our comments to the agenda that was posted on executive session, and nothing else was said, no vote was taken, and we're coming back to open the session, come back into open session now. We'll entertain a motion to reopen the session.
I move that we reconvene in open session.
And can I have a second?
Second?
And all those in favor, I'll take a roll call vote for coming back into open session. Ms. Harden,
Yes.
Ms. Heredia,
Yes.
Mr. Terrazas,
Yes.
and myself, yes, it's unanimous. We are now in open session, and it is 8:03. And I'm now, I can entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Meeting is adjourned at 8:03 and a half.